y'all will get a notification. But yes, this is a summer grad prep info session. We will be covering a few of these things today. Adishi will go ahead and do an overview of the eligibility. Please, sorry about that. Go ahead.
No worries. Yeah, so as I mentioned, one of the main eligibilities is that you have to be a current AAP student or AAP alumnus. The other eligibility is that, of course, you have to have an interest, but more importantly, you are looking to apply to graduate a professional school in the next 2 years. So this is really, we've seen from the past that those students have benefited who are interested in actively applying this coming fall or in the basically in the next couple of years to graduate school. That really benefits those students. Of course, the eligibility and expectation of the program is that you attend all 6 sessions. It's going to be kind of a marathon, right? But and I know that it is free and there are no credits, but for you to get the full benefit of a course like this, it is important that you attend all the 6 sessions every week, that you complete all course readings, assignments, and activities, because the idea is that as we kind of you know help guide you and mentor you in this graduate application process, that you're also simultaneously preparing a portfolio that can then eventually um, help you apply to actual programs. So we really do want you to be very proactive about engaging with course materials and completing assignments uh, you know in an appropriate time frame. And then the last thing that I wanted to say about eligibility is that, again, like actively engaging in the course and collaborating with other students, it's always very generative when, when students are kind of having a dialogue and conversation class with each other and speak about their experiences of or their hesitancies related to graduate school, and we can learn a lot from each other, instead of Larry, who the other mentors, me just like talking at you. So we would really encourage like conversation, dialogue, so that we can get to know every student and what their needs for this application process are, and also sharing tools with each other and resources and strategies for writing these, because it's going to be a writing heavy course, as Powell just explained. So it's always going to be useful to have like kind of a conversation class where we can share writing strategies, resources, etc. Yeah. How would you want to go over
Yes.
what the 6 weeks are going to look like?
So this is the overall content of summer grad prep. As Adushi mentioned, it's meant for you to come out of it with a strong portfolio that you can resort to when applying to graduate school. So the first week will be a basic intro. So like, what is professional school? What is the academic route for graduate school? Like, what programs generally require what uh, things for the application? So it'll be um, all of these different factors to get you started. The second week will be statements and admissions exams. So like, what's a GRE? Like, well, I need it. What are other exams that I might require depending on what route I want to take? What's the difference between a personal statement and a statement of purpose? All of that. And then also additional statements like an addendum. What's that? That'll be week 2. Week 3 will be focused on workshopping your CV and or resume. Some programs will require both. Some will require either or some will just require like just the resume. So, working on different headings, options for formatting CVs and resumes, that will all be covered there. And then the week after that will be about securing strong letters of recommendation. So, what would this kind of communication look like for your recommenders? Who would be a good recommender for you in the first place? Like, Some academic programs need just professors, but some professional programs might need like a mix of a professor or someone who knows you in at a professional level, like at, maybe a past job that you had. Everything like that will be week 4. Week 5 will be all about funding. So usually we have a guest speaker from the financial aid office to go over the different kinds of funding, because funding looks a little bit different in graduate school. Like, what's a fellowship or a scholarship? Like, what does that look like? And then finally, we got a lot of questions from students about work-life balance during grad school. Anything like that, the graduate student life panel at the very conclusion of the program will have a panel of different graduate students across disciplines. So likely you'll find yourself represented answering questions about, like, do you have time to have fun? Which most likely yes, but like, how do they do it? Things like that, or like how they felt about their different degrees, if they found them useful, what are they doing now, type of stuff. That will be all at week 6. So all of these sessions will be the 2-hour once a week sessions, but I also wanted to emphasize that there will be one-on-one. So you will meet for 30 minutes with your designated mentor to discuss different drafts of the personal statement or what it is that you're working on. It will be customized to you. So for example, in week 3, you'll have to turn in a draft of your own resume and CV. And during your meeting with your mentor, you will go over, like, okay, what places can you improve? Like, is it communicating who you are as a student or professional or person or whatever? All of that combined will make up the content of the program. So now we're going to go over the application itself. So this is it. How can you apply? The application is live now. Oh, I can't copy and paste over the link. I'll do that after the
I can share
presentation.
it.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
just share it.
Thank you so much. So that will be in the chat shortly, but I also have this QR code that you can use. But yeah, the application is now live. We are accepting applications until the 14th. I believe that is this Friday, but that may be subject to change. Oh yeah, that's the application link. And I also wanted to share the check-in. So if we do have an extension, please check in through the second form. It should be very quick. It's just like your name, email, and other information, and we'll notify you directly of whether or not there will be an extension. Just so you don't stress out about the application components too much. But yeah. And then finally, here are some tips regarding the application process. So I think a few things to take away from this is we would like you to fill out the application fully and thoughtfully. The main component will be like a short 2-page double-spaced personal statement addressing the following questions. So I've written them out here. You don't need to take note of them. They are directly on the application, but you may read them now for your reference. But yeah, this is kind of mimicking like what an actual personal statement would contain, just to get like the juices flowing even before the program. But yeah, answering thoughtfully, like, okay, how have your experiences as a person influenced your interests in your studies, in your field that you're trying to pursue? What degrees are you thinking about? Of course, during the course, this information will be a lot more specialized and someone will be working with you to look through programs. But, just to start off, like, to see what attention you've already paid to these different things. So, like, why have you selected this field? What are your different career goals? And, like, how will a graduate degree help you get there? Right? So, yeah, and what have you done thus far to prepare for applying to graduate professional programs? Like, what do you know? Have you met with a mentor? Have you looked into the different exams? Just basic information about that. And finally, like, what do you hope to gain from participating in summer grad prep. So like, of course, you'll come out with like a portfolio, but more concretely, like what areas of the application do you want to work on the most? What do you feel like you need the most help with? Things like that. So yeah. As mentioned before, this program is best suited for aspiring graduate students who know little to nothing about the application process. That way you have more to take advantage of throughout this process. But yeah, and ideally, if you're applying 1 or 2 years out, so like if you're applying the fall immediately after the summer, this program would be very advantageous. It would give you a kind of structure to already be working on, and having someone help you out with a personal statement. That way it doesn't all accumulate during the fall. If you are taking coursework or not, it's still like months out is most helpful. um but yeah, Arushi, do you have anything to add with this regard?
No, I guess the only thing I wanted to emphasize, which is that with this personal statement, we would love to hear like about you as a person and what your personal motivations and goals are. So, we encourage you to write in a way that helps us to know more about you and what your motivations are. And like Pao said, this is a great opportunity to get your juices flowing with regard to this statement, as it is one of the main graduate school applications, documents that you will be required to write at some point. So yeah, I mean, we would love to get to know you as a person, and yeah, just like addressing these questions in an essay format. That's it.
um
Other than that, I'm looking forward to any questions or concerns students have about what we've shared.
I will go ahead and close the recording, but if you have any questions, please make sure you can speak up or write them in the chat. But thank you so much for coming.